Today, you are on Tauhan, a show by the people for the people. Today, we'll be talking about Future Generation Philippine International School and its hosting of a symposium run by their Grade 11 STEM. They plan to host a symposium on the environment and what the everyday person can do to address the problems around it. First off, thank you for joining us today. Um, we are here with Joanna Melendez. Today, um, we will be talking to them about a specific event that STEM 11 of Future Generation has been planning for. First off, could you tell us a bit about what you plan to do?
So our project is basically a symposium about how to talking about the environment and the degradation and how we can help as a society to alleviate that degradation.
When do you plan to host the event? Are there any news of when it's going to run?
Actually, there is no set date as of the moment, but we are planning to hold it around the last weeks of March.
It's a symposium about the degradation of the environment and ways to address that. Will you be targeting a specific demographic?
Our audience for that day are parents, parents, and if they wanted to, they could also bring in their children as well. But our specific demographic would be parents,
Would you quantify that as just families in
families.
particular? Families.
Yeah.
So why families in particular?
To induce change in society, I personally believe that you have to hit or you have to kind of influence the very core. And that to me is families, which are the building blocks of society. So it is more effective to speak to these individuals who basically live every day on the world that accommodates us. And that's exactly why we choose to target families.
So by targeting families, you want to invoke change. Can you invoke change simply by targeting just families? Do you really think that families are um, the most effective way of addressing these environmental issues?
um Going back to my point earlier, it is effective to us as a group, as someone's going to be um, doing this symposium, because if you want if you want change to start again, we have to start with the very core of society.
Even discussing these, assuming that families are the very core of society, how do you plan to convince them of or have them influence this change over these environmental issues during a time where they're constantly in fear of one, currently the pandemic, and two, putting food on the table?
Okay, so one of our objectives um, is to basically establish the fact that we should not separate this crisis that we are experiencing now to environmental crisis, because I think people tend to forget that there is a link between those. There was even a report from the World Health Organization that there is an increase of diseases, 40% in particular, because of the degradation of the world. So from that statistic, it's quite apparent that there is a link between how the environment degrades and our situation now. So using that logic, if we alleviate or alleviate the environment, that will and would benefit us in the long run. Because again, that is the point that most of us tend to forget, that we depend solely on the world and its environment, our economy, our health, and basically our survival. So that's our plan on kind of convincing them despite the circumstances now.
How certain are you that your speakers can do that? What can you say about your speakers?
My our speakers, I trust that they will be equipped enough to be able to get our points across as a class, because they will be oriented as to what to say, how to say it, as well as um, the flow that we're going to go. And I'm very confident that our speakers would be able to give a fruitful and engaging conversation about the environmental degradation and ways to alleviate it.
How effective do you hope the outcome of this symposium to be?
As for the efficacy of our symposium, we're hoping that we could at least spark some awareness, because I believe that awareness is the key to to actually doing or moving change. And as a class, I think that's really what we're going for, just to help them realize and be aware of all of these issues and how they're conspicuously linked to each other.
I think that's all. Thank you very much, Ms. Melendez.
Thank you for having me.
We hope to see the symposium succeed, and we wish the grade 11 STEM the best of luck.